something ain't right. You've been acting funny lately, you ain't got a lie. Got me out here looking crazy. What you trying to
Dude.
hide? Baby, I can't take it, you can't take it. Something ain't right. I know something ain't right. I feel
Let's go. So actually on my Instagram earlier this week, I already reacted to that first 20 seconds because that was a teaser that came out that blew my mind. So let's talk about it a little bit. I mean, on Instagram, I already talked about every single detail, but we can talk about it really quick. The city's in anarchy. What is going on? We're hooked. We're like, okay, this is clearly not a good image. What's happening? Then we got our girl floating. And the way that they actually accomplish this is they attach little wires to her right here, probably on her hips and her chest. And you can literally see when we frame by frame, or honestly, when I just play it, you can see that the wire was right here because the sky changes, the building changes. It kind of looks a little fuzzy up there because they're just trying to hide all their wires. It's called wire work. And then in the background here, I thought this girl was floating. She's not, she's just huge. Okay, so we got flying and being able to change sizes. And then we got our girl with some VFX elements floating. Telekinesis. Something crazy's happening with her eyes. I don't know what it is. Focus. Not sure yet. We got teleportation. Turbulent displace. All right, that's how you do this. What I said earlier is I think they shot a plate, so they did this entire camera movement without any people in it, so they could have the background to put right here when she disappears. Potentially that's what they did, or they just used VFX to replace the entire background, which is possible. It's just a lot more work. You mask out this area, you use the turbulent displace effect, which makes it all warbly and blah, 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 blah. And then you have two layers. You have the background layer and the foreground layer. The background layer is called the plate, and the foreground layer is right here. And so that's why you can see two layers, like you see the warbly layer and then the normal straight line layer. And then she disappears. Perfect. Hi, my name is Jordan Orm. I'm a professional music video editor for artists like these guys. Something ain't right here. Let's dive in. That's stupid. That's so embarrassing. Next up, we got mind control. She can control groups of people. And then right here, we have a slowed shutter effect, which I think is entirely VFX. I don't think they did it in camera, but you can do it in camera by slowing down the shutter speed and then just speeding up the footage. So everything's gonna be crazy blurry, but when you speed it up, it looks really, really cool. And so she can definitely control time. She's nice like that. And by the way, all these girls are aliens. Alien invasion! Oh my goodness. That was the whole teaser. That's a little recap. We're into the story. We got aliens on planet Earth. Let's see what happens next. And it was cool having all that in one shot. Oh, okay. We got an editing language that's been established. Let's take a look at this. Every time we transition from scene to member, so far we've done a dip to white, and that's where you just take a white frame in between the cuts, you fade to white, and then we get a fairly nice match cut. I wish this match cut was a little bit better, but the dip to white kind of helps distract our eye, and because it's not perfect, it still works. We get the idea of a match cut, but it's not perfect. And so we reveal that she has an army following her. So this is the mind control girl. I don't know why in this shot that there was like, okay, so we clearly see her walking with a bunch of people. Nobody's in front of her. And then the next shots of her stepping, there's like people walking in front of her. I don't know. Not the best directing because the continuity just doesn't match and it doesn't work with the world. But you know what? Here's the cool thing about aliens and superpowers. You could argue for anything happening in this music video. If I ever say that doesn't make sense, they could be like, well, they have superpowers and it doesn't matter because, you know, time changed. So they were combining superpowers and this was a later time. So take that, Jordan. Burn. Anyway, to me, when I was watching it, it was a little bit jarring having the legs in front. The dancing though, fire. Okay, there we have another dip to white. And so this was our telekinesis girl. And she's getting filmed because potentially it's her outfit. Probably the craziest thing I ever did see. And she's just popping off in the elevator. Also a strange sight. So everybody's like, yeah, I'm just gonna film that really quick. And then here's the thing. This is a slight critique, but I think I get it now. So she's popping off. I love the coverage. The directing's great. We start on the wide, get a new angle, get a nice straight on. And then this is great. Wherever your character is looking, get a nice POV shot with the other character dirty in the foreground. So they definitely had to cheat this because this is where he's actually standing. He's standing against the wall. You can't fit a camera back there. The cameras are big. So they had to make him step forward a few steps to get this shot. But it's a great POV. It feels great. Here's the thing though. Well, also they had to recreate a iPhone UI. They didn't actually copy it. They shot iPhone footage and then made graphics to make it look like an iPhone because it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So good job to the graphics team for that. But this is what I want to talk about. It looks like he starts growing bigger, but what I think happened is he just starts floating. So I imagine just like a force choke. Like she's Darth Vader, she just walked out and this dude's getting force choked with the telekinesis. He is not doing good because he was filming from behind, and we all know the ladies don't like that. Don't do that, fellas. Ever. Never be filming like that. So that's what I think would happen. Again, we have a dip to white. Everybody's frozen. Okay, and then we have our teleporter lady. Oh, dude, this video is good, bro. I love XG. So they're aliens disguised as human beings, but still using their superpowers. So it's not a very good disguise, but I mean, if you want. I just love how in the background, the VFX artist took the time to make the background all warbly, like she was coming out of her teleportation tunnel or whatever it is. They really took care to continue the continuity of the previous shot because time is being warped, everything's distorted. I like that. That was great. Now that one was a little bit weird. So unfortunately, she was probably just sitting in a random car in a random place and they had maybe green screen behind her. And she was just told to drive and look ahead and whatever, you know, that was her direction. But in the music video, she actually spun a little bit sideways. So now if she was scared of hitting the person right here, she would have to look to the side to be like, oh no, I almost hit you. But instead she looks forward and goes, ah, which she wouldn't be doing in this scenario. So kind of unfortunate. Maybe they just didn't plan out the VFX before they shot that part, but it's all good. That's a trick. That's why filmmaking's so freaking hard. Okay, we gotta look at that. So she goes back into her teleporting tunnel. She's like, shoot, I almost hit my alien friend. Let's teleport out of here. Back to the street. And I like how we get the car in the background of that first shot. That's good directing right there. This choreography reminds me a little bit of Imagine Dragons' Thunder video where there's an alien just like in the background with their arms. It's very alien-like choreography, which I think is awesome. It's so appropriate. It just feels a little unnatural. They kill it. Ooh! Okay. They're just holding on this dance, bro. So like this, what's called a post-chorus, you'd usually cut to some B-roll. You wouldn't stay on the dancing this long. But it's like music video, block party, dance, break. They're not doing intercutting. They're just staying on the dance. And you know, I can respect the choice. Because you even see all the transitions of the formations. Usually the stuff that you try to cover with B-roll, they're including, which is interesting. So if you're watching this and you're like, I'm feeling a little bit bored with just seeing the dance, that's normal because normally they don't play the dance for that long. Ooh. Okay, all right. The transition out of the dance. We end on this wide. Yeah, it's a nice wide, and we turn it into like a crumpled piece of paper, it seems. You know I love a paper transition, or, you know, turning the shot into an inanimate object. For example, in the Stray Kids video, turning the shot into the inside of a painting. Love that stuff. So good. Great VFX transition. So I was a little confused here because I was pretty sure she was not the telekinesis alien, but I'm pretty sure she's the flying alien, which is why there's stuff flying into a floating cart. But it kind of seems like it's also telekinesis. So I feel like the superpowers are blending now. That camera move was freaking fire, bro. This whole shot was heat. Yes, bro. Yes, bro. It's simple, but it's so good. Oh, we have the army. Bruh, that is one of the best times to cut. If there's, so like in that one camera whip, we didn't cut because it was a nice smooth transition. It felt great. But in this scenario, panning back off of it and then doing a little crossfade. Look at this. We have blue water bottles right here as we're panning off. If there's motion blur on the camera, great time to cut. Awesome time to cut. But they actually go a step further and start crossfading into the mirror. And the mirror has a huge stack of blue merchandise right where the blue water bottles are. So now in our brain, this all of a sudden blends crazy well. And then we just cut to the next shot. We slowly fade it off and it just tracks perfectly. It's such a good transition, bro. Oh, that's good. Again, we get our dip to white when we're cutting to a new character. Oh, okay, yep. So, oh no, oh, this might be the thumbnail, Michael. Oh, that's good. Michael's been designing our thumbnails. Everybody shout out Michael. Yeah, Michael. So this was a little bit weird for me editing wise. You see the doors opening, they're walking into this white void, and then we cut to the next shot and the door's still opening. Oh, maybe that's the elevator door. Oh, see, that was confusing to me. I get what's going on now, but it was confusing to me because I saw a white void. We cut to a white void, but what the editor was trying to say was, look, there's a dip to white. That means we're changing locations or we're changing members. Oh, and then the elevator door opens and they just go into the office. Okay, I get it. There's a few things like that in this video where it's like almost there, but like not quite clear enough. Like I just need a little more clarity. One of the biggest mistakes you can make as an editor or director is if anybody's ever confused about what you're trying to say or do. That's a big no-no. Have to figure out how to fix it. So I think some people might have been confused about that. Okay, I also love this little paper transition. It's great. Oh, okay, yep. So it looks like her eyes light up and then either time speeds up while she's typing, or maybe she has like some focus superpowers, or maybe she's just killing it on the Mavis Beacon typing games, you know? Her words per minute score is lit off the charts, bro. Off the charts. That's crazy. Okay, so how do they actually do that? It looks like, similar to the hyperlapse effect that was in the beginning with the slow shutter speed, we do a similar thing and then stack a few of those on top of each other. So we see multiple of her fingers typing, all with a ton of motion blur, and you just speed up the shot and mask it just around this area, and you should be good to go. Okay. I mean, they're doing match cuts. They're doing it. This is better because she literally pulls down a thing. Oh. That's dirty. So if you want to do this in your own work, just a little heads up, it's very simple. All you do is you have two shots static, make them stand in the same formation, and then you make somebody physically do this with their arm, and then you just draw a mask and keyframe it frame by frame and add a little bit of feathering, a little motion blur, maybe a line if you even want, and then keyframe it all the way across. And make sure you don't forget you have the person do the exact same arm movement in both shots and have them stand the exact same way. So many dip to whites. I've never seen so many in my life. I love it. That was the most delicious dance cut I've seen right here. So she puts her arm out like it's going down, and then we cut to a shot where the camera is going down and her arm is, she face kind of the same way? No, not really. But then we cut to a shot where the camera then is tilting down, and they even added some Comet VFX, bro. The aliens are invading. This is not good. That little camera tilt down with the arm coming down, so good. The world is ending. The sky is falling. Again, a crazy long dance break for the post-chorus. She's Ant-Man, bro. Ant-Woman. Auntie XG, please, can I have tickets to the concert? I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. I was trying to go with it. It didn't work. You can unsubscribe if you want. Like, go ahead, please. I don't deserve. Let's talk about editing. Clearly, I'm not a comedian. All you do, you freeze frame her, and then again, we either shoot a plate or you just use VFX on the background. I'm pretty sure they just used VFX on the back. Yeah, because this part, see like this little scratch, it got duplicated, and you can see that it like randomly disappears. That's because they didn't shoot a plate, and they were just made up the background with VFX. You can even see a little bit right here. Anyway, all you do is you freeze frame her last frame, and then with the transform effect, shrink her down, and make sure you have motion blur on the shot. Otherwise it's gonna look really funky. So we get all that motion blur, that one last frame is shrinking down. And then right here, you know, you just have VFX, create a little shot, and then you do the exact same thing in reverse. And we can even look at the background here. See how the lines are all messed up? That's because I don't think they shot a plate. They were trying to just create lines where lines do not exist. And again, we shrink her down from nothing with the transform effect on that one frame, and then right when that frame's done, play the shot. Woo! It's so good, I'm allergic to this video. I just love how they use their superpowers in the dance. I wish they did that more. Nice smash cut. I like that. This office scene is awesome. And these are the craziest outfits I've ever seen in the history of the world. Okay, so maybe they're combining powers at this point, because we have, I mean, she's large and in charge, but we have Time Warp Alien. She looks like she's kind of teleporting and manipulating time at the same time. Maybe they're combining. Who knows? This is awesome. I haven't really seen this. Do you know what I'm talking about? Let me know. What is different about this that normal K-pop or normal music videos don't do? Oh, that's good. All right, so this is what they do. They are standing in front of them with a wide-angle lens and shooting handheld. What does handheld mean? It means you're just running around with them dancing in front of you, and you're just like holding a camera. No rig, no nothing. It's just somebody holding it. Handheld. And it creates this crazy, just chaotic image. And for a last chorus, they have like normal wides, but like these close-ups are just chaotic. And it just feels like you're right there with them. I love it. And the editor doesn't even have to cut because the chaos is already there in camera. Ooh! The other thing that made those fast cuts at the very end look so good is this last shot is so long. They're just holding, and then we get these crazy zooms. We just have a bunch of quick shots, like 1, 2, 3, almost frame by frame. And every single shot has a radial blur that's zooming out. So it gives this illusion of zooming out. And then we're also using our very favorite dip to whites periodically. So dip to white. And then we end on who other than the time manipulating alien. So was this all a dream? Was this all in the past? Was it in the future? I don't know. I love this. This song is so good. Thanks so much for watching. If you subscribed, I appreciate you. If you guys want to learn how to become professional editors, check out my website below. God bless you. Peace.